Hello. My name is Blind, and I've been playing the finals since the open beta back in 2023. I'm making this video for the people who may have picked it up for a season or two, but nonetheless ended up dropping it, and just for your information, you're not the only one. That Steam chart is basically burned into the mind of everybody who continues to play, but it doesn't really discourage us. The main takeaway of this video is to show you how much the game has changed since launch, and perhaps encourage you to give it another shot. The tightly knit community still enjoys this game and would be delighted for more people to join in on the fun. Just a quick recap for those who don't know, The Finals is a first-person shooter developed by Embark Studios in Sweden, and many of its developers are ex-DICE employees who worked on the Battlefield series. There are 3 classes you can choose from, light, medium, and heavy, all with their own unique weapons and gadgets. The Finals has many game modes, but the most unique is called Cash Out, where 4 teams of 3 players open vaults, deliver them to a cash box station where they must defend and prevent other teams from stealing. In tournament mode, the top 2 teams proceed to the next round, while the bottom 2 are sent back to the lobby. If someone were to ask me why I think the Finals had such a big drop in player count, I think I would have to attribute it to the weapon and loadout balancing. In Season 1, you used to be able to use something called a nuke, where heavies could throw 2 C4s onto any carryable and throw it at someone for a massive amount of damage. I have an entire video dedicated to this if you want to see what I mean. Not only that, but some weapons were flat out overpowered like the medium FCAR and Model 1887 shotgun. The meta was so stagnant that no other weapon or loadout could possibly compete with these, which made the gameplay linear, repetitive, and frustrating. If these things annoyed you, then I'd like to give you a list of things that the Finals has changed since Season 1, because it may be the reason you haven't revisited. The light pistol, LH1, and sword were all fairly nerfed, and invisibility was made much easier to see when moving. The stun gun was removed from the game and replaced with a nullifier, which takes you out of the fight for a few seconds. You can't do damage, but you also cannot take damage. The medium FCAR and Model 1887 were both fairly nerfed, the heal gun was fairly nerfed, and recon senses, which was an ability that allowed you to see through walls, has been removed from the game. Also, defibrillators have been nerfed to prevent defib chains, where one medium revives another medium, and that medium revives another, and so on. And lastly, the Guardian turret was nerfed, but nerfed so much that honestly it kinda deserves a buff right now. The heavy S12 shotgun was nerfed, and you are no longer able to strap a C4 to a barrel and detonate it in midair. Although, I wish this was still possible with less damage because it was a lot of fun. All heavy shields have been nerfed with a smaller health pool and shortened deploy times. All in all, the game feels a lot more balanced right now. Currently, one of the most difficult things is playing either medium or heavy and having to deal with lights, because they have the fastest movement speed, the most utility, and highest damage weapons. Despite having the smallest health pool, they are still very difficult to deal with unless you understand what you're doing and coordinate with your teammates. If you struggle to fight against light players, then I suggest you play light yourself to understand how they are meant to be played. The purpose of light is to dip in and out of engagements quickly, disrupting enemy gadgets or abilities, and using utility to assist their teammates. Although, rarely do they ever do this since it's a very independent class. The Finals isn't perfect, but once you get the hang of it and find a group of friends to jump in a game with, I think you'll find it a lot of fun and thoroughly enjoy playing it, as the developers genuinely care for the game and actively listen to the feedback to make the game as great as they can. The cosmetics might be a little bit on the expensive side, but the game is free to play as of Season 7, so perhaps I could convince you to give it another shot and try out the new season dropping tomorrow, which the community is really excited about. Again, this is Blind, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Keep in touch.